Hey, this is Wes from
W Farmstead. Let's try that again.
Hey, this is Wes from W Farmstead. So, our 403 Chrome that we have, Fusion 403 Chrome, we're winterizing it. So, what I did is I started, if you come over here, Tanya, I did a water heater bypass, which is right here, did that, and then I did winterizer on. So basically what I'm doing is I'm pulling all regular lines. Oh, hopefully this will come up. Wow. Trying to be a pain right now. Well, I'll get that off in a minute. So what I did then is I did the bypass on the water heater, and I'm draining everything that's in the water heater, and I just pull the anode and everything out. This one has a steel tanked water heater, so it has an anode on it. If you have an aluminum, you won't have an anode. All you'll have is just a plug. Okay, and generally it's a plastic plug on the majority of them, but this one is a has a steel. Now I can't remember which one's which. I know Atwood's one, and I can't remember the other brand right off, so you'll have to forgive me. But so I went on and bypassed everything, drained the water heater, and what I'll end up doing is I'll through the winterization point here, which I've always got to figure it out every time. City connection is right here. Freshwater connection is right here. So what I do is I hook into that with this right here, and what this does is it gives it hooks this tube in, and man, I'll tell you, this year everything's a little bit like it's not going in very well. There it goes. There it goes. Okay, so that's getting it tight. So what this does is this goes down into a antifreeze tank, and I'll take and I'll pull antifreeze into everything. But before I do all this, I've got a bunch of antifreeze over here on the tank, on the truck. So I'll pull out those gallons. I do have another 2.5 gallon, and I'll fill up this tank. And then what I'll do is I'll turn on the water pump, and I'll pump antifreeze into the system. But generally, what I do before I do that is I drain all the water out of it at the low water points. So first of all, let me go on and fill this up. It's easier to use a gallon or the 2.5 gallon. So generally what I do is I have 1 gallons. So I'll go on and fill this 2.5 gallon up with the 1 gallons. And the RV antifreeze is not toxic, so if you spill it, it's no big deal. It's just money down the drain if you spill it, like what I'm doing it now. Yeah, which you're going to put it down the drain anyways. Right. Yep. So there goes that one. So now what I'll do is I'll go on ahead and put this up here, and then I'll run this pipe down into here. So with the water heater bypassed, what I don't have to worry about is I don't have to worry about pumping. This one has a 16-gallon water heater, so I don't have to pump 16 gallons of antifreeze into that. It's kind of senseless. So that's why what I'll do is I'll just leave this thing open all year, during the winter time until it comes into the spring, and then I'll put the anode back in and fill it back up. Okay, so let me go on ahead and move that down. And since this is done, and out here is where the water heater is on and off, which is kind of wonky. You'd think it'd be inside for the electric, but it is off right there. So we go on ahead and put it back in, maybe. It's got them really little itty bitty holes. Okay, there we go. All right. So if you come in here too, I've already drained the gray tank and the black water tank. It's already drained, so that's why they're both open. Okay, there we go. Came off that time. I just held my tongue in the right direction. So this is our fresh water that comes in. And it comes in through a filter. So what I generally do with all these, since these sit out here, I make sure that it's empty. And then what I do is I hook them on each other so that you got it just like that. And I just throw it out there. Here's the other one. And by the way, I've gotten these metal, this type of metal reinforcement hose from Amazon. And man, I tell you what, these things are nice. Got a piece of grass that's grabbing it. Bermuda grass, Oklahoma, Bermuda grass, you'll know. So everything's drained out of here, so I just go on and connect them. That way nothing gets in them, and they're just sitting out here. And generally, what I'll do is, here's the filter, and every year I swap out this filter that's in here, and I'll just take and I'll tilt this up right like that, and then I'll generally put the filter right there, like, well, it generally stays there. So just put it like that. So we're done. So now what I'll do is I'll open the low point drain over here, and then we'll go in and we'll open each faucet and let the water drain down. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna need this too. This has got one of those that's a kind of weird outside shower thing. Comes on this, and it's right up here. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to open these up. So I open them both up, so that way it lets water in, or lets air in, not water in, air. So now then, on this 403 chrome, if you come over here, low point drain is right here. There's your hot, and then there's your cold. And notice there's not much coming out. It's because of the vacuum that's on them. So since none of the faucets are open, it won't drain out. So the only one that's draining right now will probably be the outside faucet. So if you watch down here, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll open up the faucets on the in the bathroom faucet, and then I'll open up the shower faucets, and you'll see water come streaming out. So take a look under there. Okay. There goes the faucet. And there's the shower. Did it come out a little bit more?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm doing the same thing on the kitchen sink. And then I'll do the same thing on the bathroom. Back here. In the back. Is there a lot of water draining out?
Yep.
Yeah. So what happens is when you open those faucets, that vacuum releases, and it releases all that water comes out. You know, it's, I'm sure you all probably know that. So I'll let it go here, and then what we'll do is, here in a minute, right now I've got 6-volt off, so I got to turn the batteries on, turn the battery on and everything. I'll let this go, and then what I'll have to do is I'll have to close everything up, and then you go around one at a time. Generally what I do is I start closest to where the antifreeze comes in. So I'll start on the outside shower area over there, or the outside faucet that you saw. Then I'll go into the faucets in the bathroom here, and then the shower faucet, and then I'll do the toilet. Don't forget the toilet when you're doing this stuff. It's very important, okay? So, and you want to shut this off, or next thing you know, your low water drains, you want to shut your faucets down and your low water drain. Next thing you know, all your antifreeze will be out on the ground, and that's pretty expensive. So, let me shut these off in a hurry. I'm getting too old for this. Feel like I'm wallowing around. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll try to keep things organized. So I'll go from the back to the front. Okay. So I'll shut off all the faucets in the back and come all the way up until I get into the bathroom. Okay. Okay. So I've got all the faucets off, and I've got the low point drain off, you know, shut off so that nothing comes out. So the first, now what I want to do, I've got my hose over here into the 2.5 gallon bucket here for antifreeze. What I want to do is I'm going to go in, so Tanya will stay here and show you. I need to, first of all, while I'm thinking about it, turn on the 12-volt system, which I just did right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go in there and I'm going to turn on the 12-volt pump. Okay, so, and it will start sucking in all the antifreeze until it pressures up. Okay, so give me a second and I'll go do that. The water pump is on. Now it hopefully should shut off. If it shuts off, that means that I successfully shut everything off through the RV. If it doesn't shut off, it means I got something on.
You left this one on, didn't you?
No, I turned this one off. Would have thought it would have shut off by now.
Not sucking in.
Sure isn't, is it? Okay. So what's happening is this, in order for it to work, you actually have to make sure that there's no air in the system, so that when it the pump starts working, it you know, will suck. So we got a problem where for the past few years it's worked with no problems at all. Just putting this in here and then not using Teflon tape on the part that goes from here into here. So the hose is sitting here spinning, so we'll go on ahead and put a hose clamp on it. Let's go on and take and put some Teflon tape on this. Put this in here in case I need to use it again. So let's go on ahead and tighten this thing on here as tight as it can. There we go. All right. So all right. Okay.
Try it again.
Cross your fingers. I'll get it. Cross your fingers. Yeah, it's going down. That's a good thing. So what it was is I need to put that Teflon tape on, and then I needed to put a hose clamp here.
Just had to fix the hose.
Yeah. So that's been working for about 4 or 5 years now. So it just decided, hey, guess what? I'm not going to work this year. You're going to have to clamp me, buddy. So oh well, it happens.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's amen. Okay. So pink is coming through that. I'm running through the cold. Okay. Pink is coming through that. Let me run this one more time to be sure. Okay. 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 I was hoping it should shut off, because it really should. It bothers me that it's not shutting off. So, all right, let's go on ahead and let's go inside and let's start in the bathroom up here. Okay, so I'm going to the hot side first. I want to be sure pink is coming through, so it's coming through. Go over to the cold side. Let it come through. Okay, so it's coming through. Then, same thing with the shower. Come on. Okay, so pink's coming through. Come on the cold side. Okay, so it's good and pink. So it's got everything out of here, so I know it's coming through the cold side. So we just put that down. Now the idea of this is you move towards the back. So what we're trying to do is get everything through. So next thing is the toilet right here. So, okay, so as you can tell, there's pink in the toilet now. Okay, so the toilet's doing good. So the last thing that we'll do in here is we'll come in with I'll have a gallon, and I'll take and I'll put water, or I put antifreeze straight into the traps to be sure the traps for the shower and the trap for the sink is good. So now let's go down to the kitchen. Okay, so I come through on the, this is the hot side of the kitchen. Yeah, it's pink now, so I go to the cold side. So you got to give it a chance to be sure that pink is coming through and it's pushed out all the water. Okay. Okay, looks like it's pink. Now, we're going to go back outside and we're going to check the container, make sure we have enough in the container. Okay, so this freezer has a ice maker on it. So what I need to do is I need to turn that ice maker on so it'll take and it'll pull that antifreeze through the system. Okay, so I've got it on so it'll start pulling. So there's a couple things I need to do back here in the back now. I've already done that. This is our back little bathroom. Okay, so first thing I need to do, yeah, this thing needs to be cleaned, is I've got to turn this on and let the antifreeze get into the toilet, which it has. Okay, then the next thing I need to do is do the hot water. Make sure we get antifreeze coming through the hot water here, which we do, and then do the cold water and give it a minute and make sure it drains through real good. Okay, so that looks good. Just in case, double check. Same thing with this. With this trap, we're going to have to be sure and add antifreeze to the trap to make sure that all that's in that trap is antifreeze. Okay, now the last thing we have to do, which is kind of a pain because of what we have here. Okay, what I have to do is this is the actual washer and dryer hookups. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to turn these on and I empty into a bucket right here and make sure we get pink coming through here. So you give it a minute, it looks pink. Okay, now that's good. Going to pull that off, and then we got to do the hot water side. And this doesn't always work the greatest, but since it's not high pressure, it's no big deal. So, okay, here is the hot water side. Okay, we go on and give it a minute. As you can see, it's bringing pink through. So, okay.
Pour that down the top.
Well, it's got a lot of dirt in it, but yeah, we probably could. But it's got a mixture. Okay. All right. Which I probably won't do that. This is non-toxic, so I'll dump it outside. All right. So the last thing that I do outside then while that's running is I need to go on ahead and do the low water drains and make sure that there's antifreeze coming out of the low water drains. So it's the last thing that I do once everything's done inside. So let's recap. I did the outside faucet on the side. Okay, so you do your outside faucet. I did the sink in the front bathroom, shower, toilet. Came down to the kitchen, did the kitchen sink both sides, did the back bathroom sink both sides, and did the back toilet both sides. And then, yes, and I turned on the refrigerator so the refrigerator will run through and cycle. So what I'll do is I'll leave everything on and I'll let it run for 24 hours until I see pink ice cubes. It's pink mush is what it is. And then I know I'm good. And then the last thing I did was be sure, well, before now, was be sure that I got the washer and dryer hookups, okay, where the washer and dryer was. So you saw me do that. So now this is the last thing that I do to make sure everything's good. Main thing I want to do is be sure that there's pink coming out. And I'm pretty sure there's pink coming out there. So now let's do the, that was the hot side. Do the cold side. Okay. Okay, there's pink coming out there. Okay. So, that's pretty much it. The last thing, like I said, that I'll do is I'll grab one of those gallon jugs, in which we'll do that here in a second. Okay. So the last thing I do, look at this one's not going to cooperate and come off. There we go. It came off. So, last thing I do is I put antifreeze down the traps. Okay, just want to be sure that you've already had some antifreeze. I'm just adding more. Okay, and I just put in a little bit in the toilet. Okay, now I've got two sinks here, but they're linked together. So this one drains into this one. So what I'll do is well, I was going to, but I got a bunch of garbage here that needs to be thrown away. So there we go. A little bit more. Okay. So what I did is I've got that comes over. You could hear it draining into this. Okay. Now the last one we've got is the back bathroom faucet. Now I can tell you this: the drain on the washer dryer has never been used. So I've put it in there the first time, but it's still got antifreeze in it. Dang, excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm going to sneeze again. Dang. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I've got a bunch in there. And then I just put the last of it into the bathroom there, into the toilet. And that's it. So what we'll do is we'll leave it so that that ice maker, we'll leave it so the pump runs, and we fill it up outside. And then what we do is we come out tomorrow morning, and we should have pink slush in there. So the line for the ice cube maker, the ice maker, should be fine. Now we have had that freeze before, so I need to make sure that that gets done. And on the toilet in the back bathroom, there's a L in that, and we had that break. And man, that little L thing for the tube, $65 for that thing. I couldn't believe how expensive that was. But so yeah, so you start messing with these things, and you don't winterize correctly and make sure everything's winterized, it can start costing you a lot of money real fast just for parts. That's without the labor itself to fix it, you know, unless you do it yourself. I'm lucky enough, of course, to have Dale, who helped, like with this Samsung refrigerator. He happens to be a refrigerator and a refrigerant. I don't know what you call a mechanic or something like that, or an engineer or whatever, but he works on commercial cooling, you know, refrigeration units and stuff like that. And he does a fantastic job. And so I'm lucky enough to have him to help me out, and he helped me out when this messed up and when the toilet messed up. So, but that's pretty much what you do. This is winterizing a 403 chrome, Fuzion 403 chrome. It doesn't matter if it's your Fuzion or if it's a Fuzion, a Keystone Fuzion 403, or what it is. You use the basic same principle, okay? And that's pretty much it. Y'all have a good one. Talk to you later.